Jeffrey Epstein list that came out last night. Middle of the night, Twitter's going bonkers. Videos you're seeing. Some videos are extremely, Stephen Hawking. I don't know if you saw some of the cartoons.
The cartoons were horrible, and apparently he was in underage orgies. I can't even picture
Stephen
and
Hawking.
then emails saying to hide it, and they would pay anybody that would say.
Good for me.
It's not funny, but Stephen Hawking. Oh, and they said Alan Dershowitz, Pat. I guess Epstein forced underage girls to have sex with Alan Dershowitz.
What does that mean, though?
Forced, go have, making them have sex with the guy.
Allegedly.
But that's in the court
Let's just
case.
use the word allegedly.
Well, first of all, there's 91 charges in Trump's court case. That doesn't mean he did that. It's. I never ever would. Alan, I have a lot of respect for. I think he's an incredibly smart person. There are literally groups coming after attorneys that speak their mind, and he's liberal. And I just respect intelligence. I don't respect pedophilia. So
1,000%. And it's
period. The end. There's nothing left for me to say on that. If you're a pedophile, you better
100%.
You better.
You see these names. Trump's on this list. Clinton's on this list. Dershowitz. But the
Trump's
one
not
name
on the list.
No,
Trump's
meaning was in his orbit, was on his plane.
No, he never flew to the island. Never went to the. Never went to the.
Never met with.
Never talked to underage girls.
He never met with Epstein?
No, when he met with him.
Pictures of him with Epstein.
A party or whatever, not met with him.
That's all I'm talking about, guys. They met together. But the one name.
But wait a minute.
He was not friends with Epstein.
There's a difference. There's a difference between 50 flights to the island and you're in New York City.
With your son.
So we had Mike Tyson here one time, and Mike Tyson, I think it was the last time we had him on, he says, one day, he says, I'm doing what I'm doing, and all of a sudden, it was who came to him? A Vice or SWAT or FBI came to him.
Oh, because the guy that did something crazy.
Says,
you're right.
How do you know this man? He says, what do you mean, how do I know this man? He says, well, you took a picture with him. You know what he just did. He just killed 28 people, or whatever it was. Like, he stabbed and killed He says, dude, a guy's taking a picture with me. I'm not going to know what it is. So think about how many parties you've been to, okay? Some of those parties you went to.
Maybe one or two.
No, but how many people were at the party? There's a difference between you going to those parties versus, hey, Adam, come to the island that I have here with
27 times. Get a massage.
27 times.
And let me put a portrait of you in a blue dress with heels in the front of
Weird. That's a different conversation. So I know a lot of times.
I stand corrected here.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, and but what I'm getting at, you're absolutely right, zero contention. The name that is the most liable here is the royal family, Prince Andrew.
Oof.
You've seen what's going on with this guy. I don't know. Is that the actual painting?
That is the painting.
That's beyond weird.
You know what's worth telling is where he put that painting. That painting was in the entrance. So when you came in, right, the entrance of his apartment in New York, I believe, that painting was in the entrance. Why? That's a power play. That tells you, I own you.
Wow, big. That's so gangster.
That was in Clinton's?
No, that was in Epstein's apartment.
Holy
Manhattan.
shit.
When you walk into we can fact check me, but when you walk into the right, it's there. You put a former president in a dress and high heels in your entry of your apartment. Yeah. What does that say?
I own you.
Wait, is that supposed to be the Lewinsky dress, by the way?
I don't know. That's a great question.
It might be. But the Prince Andrew thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, how do you defend that as a lawyer?
You don't.
Right? I mean, he did some weird shit.
I wouldn't take that case.
Why not?
Because it's to me, unless he could show me that this was not I have a very hard time with pedophilia. Look, just because I'm a lawyer, I represented a child who was a victim of rape by a man who raped 20-something other children in a state by a state employee. He was a systemic rapist. He would groom these children, usually divorced children, and he was the only one not within the statute of limitations that could bring a lawsuit. So I couldn't do a class action. I did this. I got, we resolved the case. He's fine. He had drug addiction, all these things from that. I can't, as a human being, I can't defend that. I can't. And some lawyers, maybe they can. Maybe
how do lawyers defend something like that?
Well,
I always ask that question.
Criminal lawyers, because sometimes you're mitigating damages. You're not trying to prove them innocent. Yeah. You're just trying to mitigate and negotiate. And by the way, I'd probably be a great criminal attorney. I'm not a criminal attorney. I would have a very difficult time as a human being, as a mother, with representing somebody who I believed was a pedophile.
Alina, so from a lawyer's standpoint, the list came out New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson, billionaire hedge fund manager Glenn Dubin, the Prince. The list goes on and on. Clinton. There was certain names, especially one that was
Blacked
just
out.
heavily redacted.
Yeah.
Okay, this is my question. There's obviously, I don't know, no victims. God, I feel so bad for them. I'll pray for them. But how are they still protecting a name of a person that?
Well, they're not protecting the name.
Well, why are they redacting this
so
person?
legally what happens is, there has to be motions filed to unseal, and people can try and do that, and I'm sure some of these, the Tom Fittens of the world, et cetera, will try and do so. So people always say, it's not all public, and I want the world to understand this. When I have a case, when I'm doing a lawsuit, like, there are things you just don't know that are not public. Sometimes the court orders them be private. There are private conversations with judges and all the parties and their counsel that are sealed for certain reasons, for protection reasons. I don't understand why that is unsealed. I don't like it, and I would love to know as an attorney. I think that no matter what, if this goes to trial, we will know, because they can't happen. I'd be shocked if the press doesn't make a motion to have it filmed and public, but there will be transcripts and all of that. At this point, you don't know. There's so many identity issues. And when you're dealing with minors and rape victims, there's a lot of issues that happen. Sometimes it's to protect the rape victim, that they don't want their name being associated with that blackout name because they're afraid of being killed, and then they have to be insecure. There's so many things that go on that people don't realize. Now, what do I think in here? No, I'm not going to think that. I think that that's somebody who's very high profile. Obviously, there's speculation as to who it could be. But I can't understand how Bill Clinton would be revealed, but this person wouldn't.
Yeah, like who's more, like, this is the ex-president of the United States. His name is all over, but this one heavily redacted name.
But you know who I know it's not?
Donald Trump.
Donald J. Trump.
But like, the left must be going crazy because they just proved all the stuff that we talked about.
Yeah.
Who is protecting more than him, though?
I was just going to say, would it be
Spielberg?
Bill Gates? Maybe a Spielberg? This person is
bigger than Clinton?
Tom Hanks?
Obama?
I don't know, Pat.
How do we know it's one person that's heavily
Well, one of them.
It's one name.
It's one name that I kept seeing that was just redacted.
I think that's strange.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
Unless they're cooperating. There's so many elements that we don't know.
That's why we have the attorney.
Yeah, they could be a cooperating witness. I'm not sure. What that would be.
It's so interesting because
But you have to remember, so much happens before the public knows. You have, I've been in front of a grand jury, and people didn't know. And they pull you in. They see if you're going to be part of the papers. That's all stuff that they do. And then they pick and choose, and they put their storyline together, and they decide which witnesses they're going to rely on. But there's a ton of people that go in front of a grand jury and testify. And then what they do is, and it's really unfair because a grand jury is one-sided. You're not allowed to have your lawyer in there. You go by yourself, and it's a frightening experience for anybody. And you just have government, the FBI, the DOJ in there. You have, the grand jurors, and they can ask you whatever you want. You're not represented in there. You can leave and ask a question to your lawyer, but you are by yourself. And if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to hide. I had nothing to hide. I went in, I was honest. But if you have something to hide, I could imagine that then it opens the door to witnesses that flip, witnesses that cooperate, they plea. So there are so many things that could have happened there that people don't realize before it becomes public. But I'm happy that it's becoming public.
You and me both. And I saw something where it's like I don't know if the government or the FBI, one of them have all these boxes of all the recordings and everything that he actually was recording. All these people on the island, all the cameras, all the hidden cameras.
I'm sure.
He had a room like this, Pat, with all these TVs and recording everything. So when they would leave, Alina, and he'd ask, hey, I need this favor. And the person's like, no. He's like, oh, really? That's you with this underage girl or whatever. And they would do all
To me, that is the most believable proposition right there.
100%.
If there's anything we know about Epstein, is he's recording all you
and that's why he was so powerful and was getting hundreds of millions of dollars.
That's why he's dead.
That's why or allegedly he might not be.
He offed himself.
Yeah.
That's right.
His business model was blackmail.
100%.
Okay? All the child weird stuff, pedophilia, Dude, that's all a means to an end. He is using whatever he can to get dirt on powerful people. Left, right, center, up, down. He got
And
you.
who was he working for is the real question.
I'm surprised Ghislaine's still there.
That's
to be honest.
crazy.
I'm surprised she hasn't.
She hasn't wanted to off herself? Yeah, that's kind of odd that she's still.
You know what this does tell you, though? I mean, you're looking at the stuff. Okay, did you ever meet anybody famous when you were with Jeffrey? She asked. I met Michael Jackson at Epstein's house in Palm Beach. Asked whether she massaged Jackson. She said, I did not. As for Copperfield, she said that he attended dinner at one of Epstein's home and did some magic tricks. Did you observe David Copperfield to be a friend of Jeffrey Epstein? She asked. She replied in the affirmative. Did Copperfield ever discuss Epstein's involvement with young girls with you? She was also asked. He questioned me if I was aware that girls were getting paid to find other girls. Copperfield, she said in a deposition, didn't tell her any specifics of the question. Did he say whether they were teenagers or anything along those lines? She also asked. He did not. Trump, those associations was reported, mentioned documents on so Jeffrey, great. Well, call up Trump and we'll go. I don't recall the name of the casino, but we'll go to the casino. And then ask at one point whether she ever gave him a massage to Trump. No. And this is going, right? Okay. So here's the thing. When you're reading this, there's two things here. One, you have to know these guys are sitting around talking to their lawyers, talking to their people, like, what are we going to do? And then they're calling each other like, hey, man, what's your plan? I saw you there, dog.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you up to? Who's your lawyer? What do we want to do with this? Did you call that guy? Did you call this guy?
Oh, my God.
Because they know whose name is blacked out.
Of course.
If there's anybody that knows, the people that have been there know, like, they're,
No, not necessarily. I'm going to correct you because I have been, like I said, I'll use my experience, okay? I'm not going to speculate, but in my experience, I have been in front of a grand jury. And shocking. It's like what they do to every Trump lawyer, right? They like scare you, they bring you in, things that I had nothing to do with. And they, I had no idea who went in. I still don't. I don't know everybody that went in. I don't know. I don't know who went in because we all have different lawyers and
who went into the grand.
Who went into grand juries? I don't know.
No, I'm saying people that went to the house.
Yeah, but they all don't know who was involved in that and who the other guy might be, because once you go into grand jury. Right? That's not testimony that you get until you're on the.
What I'm saying is, like, if you go to a party,
right?
And we're in Vegas, okay. Buddy of mine, my dad's like, where are you going? I said, I'll be back. I'm 14, 15 years old. The story my dad told the other day, right in Aspen. So I go downstairs, my friends, we're all troubled teenagers at the time. We don't have any direction in life. We're in this Cadillac. We take the dad's car. He's driving. My friend, 15-year-old guy, he's driving. I'm 15.
Not legal to drive.
No,
not yet.
But it's like 2:00 in the morning. Yeah. Guy pulls up on this side, okay, and 5 guys from New York. Where are you from? New York. Where are you from? Burbank. Oh, okay. Boom. Guns come out. Then all of a sudden, oh my God, here we go. So we run out. Run. Everybody, craziness, and then. Go back to the room. My dad's like, why are you breathing so hard? I was just exercising.
2 o'clock in the morning.
2 o'clock in the morning. What are you going to do? I'm just going to sleep. He said, what happened? He doesn't find out till I'm 32 years old when I tell him this story. I'm like, you don't need to. But the people who were in the Cadillac know.
They know.
Right? Yeah. The people who were in the Cadillac know. So the concern here becomes the following. Here are two stories here. One, these money powerful people that have been able to control their card to get away with stuff like this. They did not think today was coming. They did not think that this thing was going to be public. You think they were thinking? They're like, I don't know if this day's going to be coming.
They probably thought he was doing everything to protect them.
He was doing everything to protect them. So January 21st, apparently the list, all the other names between now and then is going to be released. Yeah. Moral of the story, folks, this is more having nothing to do with politics, having to do with you. Man, be very careful what parties you go to, okay? And you accept invitations to, okay? Do a lot of due diligence before you say yes to any party you're going to be going to. And if you're going to be going, ask very specific questions.
Are any of the guests pedophiles?
Yeah.
I would like a roster.
Is there a
please.
pedophile lit?
That's always a good
pedophile.
Is the party on an island?
Are we on an island?
Yeah. So
are there minors massaging people?
And,
My God.
And FYI, between then and now, think how much social media if social media was around, like you had smartphones back then, people didn't go on that thing on smartphones. Think about like
People would be on the island. Yo, what up? Here on Jeffrey Epstein's island. We out here.
Oh my God.
Put the phone down, guy. What are you doing?
Oh no, they would do what they do at comedy shows for like Dave Chappelle. When you walk into the comedy club, Alina, there's a bag. You put your phone in. They lock it till you leave.
Yeah.
So you don't record the performance.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, look, the
Demons.
Listen, but you can only control so much.
I agree. I totally agree. Listen, trust me.
You don't think I've taken a picture with some weirdo that I don't know about
There
that
is
comes up to me and says, "Can I take your picture?" You know, that by the way,
you're right.
That by the way, that's what happened to Trump. He's got a picture with somebody and she's like, "Oh, he attacked me, he raped me, he this, that, and the other me." He's like, "I don't remember taking this picture. I don't know who you are."
And then he banned
And then he
him
gets
from-
defamation, rape,
The bigger you are, the more popular you are, the more notoriety you have, the more pictures they're going to ask you for.
I know.
And
Trust me.
didn't Trump banned Epstein from Mar-a-Lago, right?
That's right. I wasn't going to bring it up, but I'm glad
Trump
you did.
banned-
Trump actually threw him out of the club.
Yeah, out of the club because he flirted with someone's daughter, younger daughter's like,
Yeah,
nah,
he was
we're
like,
not
"No,
doing
we're
that."
not. We don't do that here."
Yeah, you out of
You're
here.
out.
Yeah, right there. Trump banned Jeffrey Epstein
did.
from Mar-a-Lago
He
after
did.
sex criminal hit on member's daughter.
Yeah.
book
By the
claims.
way, that was back in the day. That just tells you
What
who he
year
is.
was that?
He's not into creepy. He's just not. He's, you know, it was a long time ago. It was before any of this, but he was a member, and Epstein was a wealthy Palm Beach guy who threw parties, and then the people that figured out who he was probably bowed out or threw them out of his club, like President Trump. And then the other ones that were into it, I'm sure just
What
stayed.
has Trump said about Epstein on the record? Meaning,
He's
like,
so happy he threw him out of the club and never went to
Beautiful.
the island.
Yeah, thank
did he
God.
say he thought he was like a scumbag, pedophile? Did he,
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, I'm not going to talk about what I don't know. what he-
publicly, I'm saying.
Publicly, I think he's, you know, he's not concerned. I never went to the island. I'm not a pedophile, and I threw him out of my club. I mean, what better facts do you need than that?
And by the way, just off of person, and we talked about this in the last podcast. I just look at what Bill Gates' wife, Melinda Gates, said when she goes, "I met him one time. I had nightmares, and it was evil personified." That's a freaking crazy statement to be like, "I just met him, and I felt like the
That's why
devil
you think
wasn't."
he's your
But how
leading
about
candidate
her?
for being
I mean, how
off
about
the
her,
list?
Ghislaine, like grooming?
Oh, she's just. I love how
What happens to Ghislaine at this point from an attorney's
Honestly,
perspective?
from an attorney's perspective,
Yeah.
as a conspiracy person, I just hope she
All
doesn't
the- all
offer
the
herself,
above.
because I would like her to testify. I would like
yeah.
to see this one. I would like to see this one.
Look
come
how
out.
rough she looks right
I
now when
wanna
you have evil inside you.
Yeah,
Look at that.
I
How
wanna
can she
see-
not testify?
I mean, only if she
How does
dies.
that work?
Only if she dies, right?
So they're going to bring her on trial? I mean, they already have
they
had
have to bring her on
Yes.
trial. I mean, she's got to testify, and I hope it doesn't get sealed. Only the identities of the victims should be sealed. But as far as the predators, those should not be sealed, and they should be bringing charges against those people. And I think, frankly, now that it's public, there's going to be a tremendous amount of pressure to see them do the right thing and go after people that are now, we have the facts. I'm a little disappointed that it takes media to get us there. Can I be honest with you? Like, why did we need to see it for you to have to bring charges? Because as of today, there are no charges brought, right, against Bill Clinton for sleeping with underage individuals. Those victims are alive. What's happening?
Prince
there a
Andrew,
statute of-
regardless of his
So what, now-
prince, I don't give a damn.
Why haven't they? Though? This
Why
is actually a good
haven't-
question. Why you're a
Well, let's
lawyer?
just
Tell
think
us
about it.
why haven't they? Why hasn't
Because-
some lawyer gone to the girl?
Can't be the lawyer. It has to be the government. Government has this case. The government needs to bring, civil suit, sure. A civil suit on behalf of the women, but
Right.
they were settled.
Yeah, Chase gave them
They were
290
settled
million.
by a bank.
Yeah, a bank.
A bank
Yep.
settled the suit, paid for
how
it.
Can a bank
JP
settle
Morgan.
this?
JP Morgan, which I believe was it.
$290 million
That's right.
because guess what? Their top brass were involved in all these emails going over there,
1,000
doing their
plus
dirt with them,
emails, yeah.
Patrick.
So there
Guys,
was a settlement.
Follow the money.
And part of the settlement is you will no longer sue us. You will take this check. You will shut up. You will go away.
Wow.
It's a settlement agreement. Settlement agreements are fair. You're allowed to have settlement agreements. You're allowed to say, I don't want to litigate. As a victim, I can imagine not wanting to go through litigation, not wanting to be this publicly display your rape and your trauma. Again, that's incredibly traumatic. You know, they suffer from PTSD, real things, real victims. Let me be clear.
Yeah.
Because we have this other legal issue happening in our country right now, which with the Adult Survivors Act and some of these claims that are coming very late that are, some of them are fake, some of them are real, but the ones that are fake, it bothers the hell out of me. So, we'll see. But I will tell you, outside of the settlement agreement for cash, there needs to be criminal, and that's the state, the government needs to bring charges to people that they know raped underage women.
100%.
You think
Period,
if Trump,
the end.
You think if Trump gets elected, that'll happen?
I can tell you if I'm involved in the DOJ.
Please do it.
That is something that I have no tolerance for that. None. I would.
And it's
come
crazy.
down
And
hard
good,
on that.
Alina. And guess what? The majority of these people, that should be your number one priority.
Excuse me.
People
Safety,
rape
security.
children.
Kids.
That's the border problem. We have rape after rape. I mean,
they go disappear. The little kids.
they have the underwear of these children. It's like a trophy. Have
Yeah.
you seen
Oh
these
my God.
videos at the border? If you look, if you do some research, I mean, it doesn't take much. There are individuals that have gone down there and exposed how much. What they do is they rape the children and then they hang the underwear on the fence to show that they've raped children, and it's all kids' underwear, and it's so disturbing.
That is the most disturbing
It is
thing
so
I've ever heard.
disturbing.
Why? What's the?
It's just gangs and sickos. I mean, look, understand that a lot of these people that are coming over that are fleeing in a way that can't get in through a legal manner are because they can't get in through the legal means that this country allows for. We allow migrants. We allow immigrants. We are pro-immigration. What we are not is for people who have been charged, who are criminals, who can't get into our country securely, so that we know who's coming in, so that we can allow you in the right way and you get vetted and you're not a terrorist and go through the normal means. We can't have those people. So what are they doing? They're crossing illegally. We've heard that there's, Chinese migrants going through.
Middle East, everybody. Everybody. Their mother's coming here.
Look, terrorists. And it's just an open entryway.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.